everyone, welcome back to WWIY. Women, what inspires you? Today I'm pretty stoked on the guest because it is my sister, Mel Price.
Hi everybody, how's it going? I'm stoked to be here. Woohoo!
Mel is an aspiring Paralympian. She just recently got her qualification for that, so she's been riding nonstop, working towards her goals. If she's not at the barn, you can find her at the barn or potentially with her partner or with her family. She also works full-time as a vet assistant, which is pretty cool.
Woo! I wouldn't go as far as Paralympian. Not yet. There's still quite a few hoops to jump, but hopefully one day it'll happen. Yes, I am always at the barn. Always riding. And you can find me there in my spare time. I think I live there. Or I'm at work.
So, some of these questions might be a bit obvious, but Mel, where are you from? Tell us a bit about what fulfills you in life.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I live in Kelowna with my family. And as for what fulfills me in life, definitely my horses, if you guys haven't got that already. My family, for sure. They're a huge support. And they're definitely the backbone to my life, that's for sure.
The backbones, as Mel said. Yes, definitely fulfilled by horses and family. Who is your biggest inspiration and why?
Well, Megan, obviously you. My biggest inspiration is definitely everybody in my family, for sure. They definitely have inspired me to be the person I am today. Yeah.
Oh man, that was not the answer that I was expecting, but I'm glad that we've played a part. We've been as inspired by you as you have by us. So it's been a wild ride watching you go from your accident to now goals of potentially riding in the Olympics, and nothing ever slows her down. She never lets it slow her down.
Well, thanks, Megan. I mean, why ever let anything slow you down? You might as well just go for it, and if you feel like you can't do it, you better just work harder for it, I guess.
So, Mel, tell us about a hardship that you faced in life and how did you overcome it?
One that I can think of off the top of my head was definitely the feeling of being different than everyone else. And I think just overcoming that, you just kind of get over the feeling in a way and just kind of accept the fact that you're different and you're never really going to be the same, and you just move on and keep doing what you're doing.
For people that don't really know you, and also why do you think you're different, can you expand on that a little?
Oh, okay. So for people who don't know me, when I was younger, I had a traumatic brain injury due to being run over by, you guessed it, a horse. And so anyway, so I just was in the hospital for quite a while and went through rehab, and I had to learn basically how to be a functioning human of society again, which turned out pretty well. And so basically what I mean by feeling different is just, I always kind of felt like I never was really normal, which today turns out to be a good thing because being normal is not fun. So basically there was just a lot of hoops to jump over, and you kind of just realize that being yourself is the best way to be.
Love that. Being yourself is definitely the best way to be. And I mean, obviously I've seen you through all the phases, and you know, when nobody thought that you would walk or talk again, and now here you are sitting on this podcast, which is pretty amazing. But I would say another thing about you is you never let anything stop you. Even though you've faced hardships or things that you could use an excuse, it never has slowed you down. It's never stopped you. You've always gone after, what you've wanted to accomplish, and you've been able to do it. So I would say that's pretty inspiring.
Well, thanks, Megan. Why ever let anything slow you down? You might as well just go for it. And if you feel like you can't do it, you better just work harder for it, I guess.
I would say we have the same mindset of working hard for what you want, and sometimes maybe to a detriment, not allowing our bodies to rest and heal properly, but we're working on it. All those things are really super amazing, and to see where you're at now is pretty awesome. So, with all things considered, what are some things that you do to stay inspired?
Well, some things that I can think of to stay inspired is just, I kind of look at the people around me and I think to myself, well, what makes me any different than them? And that kind of just keeps me going on. And I know I really want to go all the way up to the Olympics, as you did say, although there's lots of hoops to jump through, but
never stopped you before.
Exactly. I'm working on maybe taking care of myself more, but it's not going very well. But that's okay. I kind of just keep pushing on, and if this is something I really want, then you can't just take a day off here and not go to the gym here and eat a bunch of a whole thing of cake or whatever. You got to keep going on the path that leads you to success.
I think those are all really excellent ways to continue to stay inspired. And like you said, if you have a goal, then you just have to keep pushing for it. Nobody's going to do the work for you. So I feel like that's a great attitude to have. And yes, working on taking rest, which is also important though, so our bodies don't break down. So our last question coming up to the end of the podcast here is, what is some advice that you have for other people who maybe have a traumatic brain injury, who feel, that they're also different, or they have a dream they don't feel is attainable? How did you get through it, and maybe what's some advice you could give them?
That's a good question. Tough one to answer. I would say, for anybody else who is kind of struggling, or they feel like they maybe can't do what they want to do, their impairment is getting in the way. I basically would just saying that these hardships, they're not going to last forever, and they might be hard now, but once you get through it, it becomes easier. And I think it's also really important to voice your hardships, and instead of keeping it all to yourself and thinking you're the only one who's going through it. Everybody's got something that's going on. So I think talking to others is a good way to be, and just keep on being yourself and keep on going.
That's some great advice. I think, hardships don't last forever, but tough people do. Or maybe something is going to last forever and you just kind of have to find a way to learn to live with it, as many people have done. But thank you so much, Mel, for coming on the podcast today and giving such good advice.
Thanks, Megan. Always a fun time to be on the podcast. I appreciate it. And keep on keeping on, everyone, and be yourself.